You know how I could tell if there's a big storm? Yeah, I know there's these fancy apps that can let you know that, but really, my garbage pails, they blew down the street. And that's a sign to me. I wasn't mad about that at all. That's a sign to me it's time to go to the beach. And that's what we're going to do today. We're going to use the legend on the beach. Tides are out. Let's go. All right, so we're at the beach that I did that live stream that I found the 2 rings at. And we're down a layer. What I'm hearing is a lot of iron. In the Northeast, the beach has a layer that objects really do not pass through. It is a broken shell layer, and it's just really dense shells. For the most part, when you're on a beach, you're pulling non-ferrous items. I mean, relic hunting, beaches, that usually doesn't go in the same sentence. So this layer is littered with nails, with objects that really have not been pulled up by other metal detectorists, because we're looking to suck the nectar out of that layer, right?
Actually, I'm a nonconformist. I'm there for the iron.
What are you talking about?
Getting a repeated signal here. Let me turn off my headphones so you can hear this. Give it a second. $21. Now I dug over here and I got a similar signal, and then it just disappeared, which tells me that it was iron.
Merrill, what do you think of the Nokta legend? I want to know so I could say the opposite.
This is a great detector, but I have a hypothesis about the iron and how it picks up iron. I have maybe about 15 hours on this detector so far, and I'm digging a heck of a lot less iron than I do with the Equinox and other detectors. And while that might sound joyful, I wonder if I'm missing stuff. All of this has to be tested. This is just in my head right now, but it is my honest observation as of right now. Yes, I am still harping on the iffy signals test. Let's take a brief look at that again.
And I'm going to show you some testing that I was doing yesterday with recovery speed and reactivity. Okay, so I have it in multi-1 right now. I have just a piece of rusted, looks like an old wrench that I found. It's very small, and I have it next to about 2 inches away from a nickel, maybe 1.5 inches away from a nickel. Okay, so we're going to crank this recovery speed up to 10. Okay, and this test, well, first we'll go through the test. So we're in multi-1. We'll go slow.
Same test with the Equinox.
Yeah, a cranked up iron bias will mask. So this is at, no need for noise cancel with these tests. This is recovery speed 8. We'll do the same thing. We'll go down to, well, we'll start at 8 first, and we'll follow the same test. So this is F2.4. It's not really needed. I'll show you. F2.2 is a very low iron bias, okay? Hit these targets, okay? So we're going to come across. Is the nickel? Is the nickel?
Oh my god, you're such a Minelab fanboy, Merrill. Can we, get an honest review?
No, actually, I think Nokta has done it. They've created the best value in a multi-frequency detector that is out there. The new generation of detectors can be updated. They have the hardware that's inside, and they have software that can change, based on the feedback that people are giving them. To their credit, Nokta has gone on the record as of saying that they are going to add an iron bias, which is basically how much is iron factored into a signal. And my hypothesis right now is that it is a little bit too high. I've tested this machine, and I'm positive separation is not an issue with this. I sense that the vision of this is Nokta wanted people enjoying their product. They didn't want people to dig a lot of iron. And they might have underestimated that people who are hunting in like really, really competitive places like New York, where there are hundreds, if not thousands, of other metal detectorists, they really need a signal that is not going to get taken over, like you saw in that test. You know, the wrench was there, the coin was there, and it seemed that the iron signal took it over. And really, that's a real life scenario right there. It was a simulated test, yes, but if iron can overpower, that's a problem, because if you're in a competitive place and other detectors like the Equinox picking that up, that's a problem. But Nokta's going to do something about that. And I've gone to the park, I've gone to the beach. You'll see in the upcoming videos 29 of 30 signals that were very difficult. I've had my friends pull me over, match signals. 29 of 30 have been matched. We did stump it once. That's in an upcoming video. If you want to read my full thoughts on this detector, I'm proud to say, go back to my website. I rate metal detectors. It is finally coming along. It's getting good. I'm getting really proud of what is there, and it's finally developing the vision on that. So make sure that you look at that, and that it's going to be developing. My writing on this, as I'm really going through these detectors, these new detectors, the Deus 2 and the Legend, I'm going to be writing there, and I'm going to be comparing it. So make sure you check that out.
Well, we got this one. It's a fishing thing.
So here is something that you should know. I love the headphones, but they got a big problem. The big problem is it's a switch instead of a button. And the sand gets into that switch, and you can't turn it on and off unless your hands are totally spotlessly clean.
We got a problem. I just got sand in my headphones. Oh boy. Okay, we got a repeating signal here. 28 to 44. And look at the material that's here. We're down close to the bottom, or at the bottom. And we got a dime, greenie. I almost feel like all of this anti-iron stuff that Nokta has programmed in this, because I've barely dug iron with this. I mean, it's a good thing and a bad thing. It might be preventing me from getting stuff, because I was over here with my Equinox just a week ago, and the beach was higher than this. I'm hearing all of the iron, and I'm getting a few signals, but there was more here. Part of it is the reactivity issue. Here's the signal. 25. Part of it is a reactivity issue. In that I have my reactivity at, no, I'm sorry, not reactivity. The one that allows you to dig smaller object stability. It's a stability issue. That's one of the controls that they added to it, because it really chattered in the in this setting. We got a 39 here, and basically small objects you're not going to get unless it's a Zinken. Small objects you're not going to guess unless if you have the reactivity at the lowest setting, which is 1. If you want totally stable, nothing chirping, you know, you go to 5. I have mine at 3, and you know, basically right now I can't help but feel, and I know they're going to add the iron bias into this, can't help but feel it's keeping me from digging some signals that are here, and that's a problem to me. Some people, they don't want to be bothered with that. They don't want to ever dig iron. Me, I know it's a toss-up, and I dig a lot of iron. I also dig a lot of good stuff, and I think there is that trade-off that comes with that. So I'm really tuning into this today, and that's something that you should consider when you're at bottoms. You know, the iron is going to be there too. We're at a beach bottom right now, and this is problematic.
You will see later in this video that some of those fears that I just expressed, they will be eased.
21, 28, 29, 23, bouncing. This might be a first. Look at this, it's a bell. You see, now that I have cooled on Taco Bell, this should be what rings up. No, not rings up. This should be what unlocks Taco Bell. Since I'm mad at them, they got rid of the Mexican pizza, apparently.
You see, with Nokta, I fully believe that with what they have in their product, they can do an update and they can address any issues, and they are not far off. Taco Bell, on the other hand, they need to start their update. They need to get their Mexican pizza back.
Meryl, focus on the positive. You just got a bell, dude. That's awesome. That was a good pull. That was, again, this is 9 inches to the top. That was about 11. In the wet, that's a good pull. 17, 16. Sea debris. All right, we got something that's not even registering on the depth scale here. 18 to 21. That could either be really small or really deep, and we're yet to find a really small signal here.
As of this iteration right now, what is off with this detector is the target ID. You can say that when there's a deep signal with the Equinox or any detector, well, you're getting high 30s in that one. Why aren't you complaining there? It's just another standard deviation off. It is just, it's far off. No, really, compare pulling something that is deep and then ring it up at the surface. You'll see what I mean.
Now it's really coming in very high. That's weird. That is so weird. The ring up wasn't terribly deep either. That was 9 inches down. 8 inches. It's a dime.
I mean, I was praising the bell at 11 inches, and that's a little dime. So, one, good job, Nokta. It saw it. We're getting it. It's on the scale. It's a repeat. And you know to dig when it's a repeat. But it's off, and it's a standard deviation worse than the Equinox at target ID.
Now, you know what? Upon further thoughts, that was a good pull. We pulled a dime in the dirt at about 11 inches, and it was a blip. And in the dry sand, it's different. Dry sand is easy. That's one of the more easy testing environments. But the wet sand is, that's a different story. Anywho, we got a 27-28 here. That one did have a distinct sound. My headphones are temporarily broken. I could take the Bluetooth off entirely. Let's see if we can get you that sound. Hold on. I can no longer just flip the switch. All right, you'll hear it in a second. That's it.
Another thing that needs to be addressed is the pinpoint. When you pinpoint, it takes in everything in the area. One of the things that Jeff and Phil swear by, and in fairness, I'm not as good at, is they can tell when it's a piece of iron from the pinpoint because it is not localized. Non-ferrous targets, you seem to get, when they're deep, you seem to get that very localized pinpoint. And if it's iron, it is just all over the place. It always sounds like it's all over the place when you pinpoint on the Legend.
We got what seems to be another mid-tone going from the teens all the way up to 27. All right, it was fooled again. As I got closer, the signal got fainter. So the iron bias that it has naturally kicked in. I don't know, man. 1920. This sounds clear.
Nope.
Now I can bet this is going to be iron. Let's pinpoint. Seems to be a big target. Let's dig it anyway. Sure is. All right, I'm going to infer here. 21, 18. Now pinpoint. I don't know if you could hear that, but that sounds huge. Let's dig it. Should be iron. It is not iron. It is a triangle piece. Let's see if there's anything else in here. I would say no. Sometimes, you know, you stick your pinpointer into the salt water. That's the response that you'll get. But really wasn't much else there. See, I'm putting it at different spots. When it's submerged, that's the response you get.
So the first one, yeah, that circular piece of iron, I called it. I'm like, yep, that's going to be a bigger part. The next one, I was like, yeah, that's going to be bigger. I wouldn't call that a huge target. I mean, it's thin. It has surface area. It definitely does. But it just sounded bigger. I realized watching this video, you didn't get to hear the actual pinpoint because of the wind. But it fools you. That was not the only time that I'm going to get fooled like that. When you pinpoint, it tends to pull in a lot of stuff.
Faint and repeating. Another huge pinpoint. Heavy debris. Oh, you know what this is? This is from a change purse. Back in the day. Nowadays, you don't even have something that holds change in wallets. This is cool. Relic. Part of a fishing weight. Good sign. Spoon. Not silver. Penny. Solid sounding 13. This gives a huge pinpoint. We are on the ring. What are you? I think we got gold. I think we got gold. Nope, we got stainless. Okay, darn it. Either that or a really bad weld job. It says real on the side. Alright, we got a ring. Real love. Okay, the love is real. The ring is not. But it's a nice one. Let's wipe this off. Feels just like gold. Okay. Good job, Nokta. Really good job. That pinpoint, yeah, we can work on that. Everything is wide, everything is erratic. But you know what? The results? Okay. Good stuff.
I'm of course comparing this to a detector that I've swung for 2.5 years straight. So, you know, you got to keep that in mind too. You're seeing good pulls. You're seeing honest feedback too. This is what I'm seeing. This is what I'm seeing as different and what needs to tweak. that pinpoint definitely needs a tweak. The target ID needs a tweak. The iron bias needs a tweak. Guess what? All three are fixable.
43, 44, 45. One note, in fairness to this, when I turned up the recovery speed, all of these signals appeared. So that was a big help with that. At first, when I was here, I wasn't getting too much. But now is okay. And we got a greenie. Look at this. It is a penny that is encased. I love these. Oh, it's a wheat scent. We are on the wheat.
Majority of the day to this point, I was in multi-frequency wet, recovery speed 5, and stability 3. And what I just did was I moved the recovery speed to its fastest. I was at like 9 or 10 right there, and all of these signals popped up. And if you think about it, it makes sense that I did that. If you're down at the beach bottom, stuff is not going to go further than that. So depth, although we did pull a few deep signals, you give that up for the sake of spacing, which is arguably more important than depth.
Okay, this was a good pull. It's not a small object, but it's a thin one. Still haven't found that small object. I want to find it naturally. I know I could like I saw the comments, put an earring in a bag and test it, or even air test it, but I kind of want something that's on the small side, and I know that I can't deal with the that setting at 1, so I'm hoping to get it at 3, or maybe even 2 I could go down to, but this is tolerable right now. Let's see if we get something.
This is less plug and play than the Equinox. It's not a super difficult detector, but it is not easy. The Equinox is just easy. You put it into a mode, there's a few different settings. Maybe you could say the same thing about this. But when I put stability to 1 and I hunted in all metal mode, it was all over the place. It was all over the place at the last beach.
Okay, this was a really, really faint one, and that ended up being about 9 inches down, and it rang up pretty much in single digits. And this coin, if you are going to have a full ring up, 44. So for those of you who are target ID purists, I don't know. We got a good detector. I'm trying to be really tough on it right now. Listen, that's the truth about this. Highly capable. I know it has not gotten any of its updates as of yet, as of the making of this video. There's going to be more tweaking on the part of Nokta, and they did really well with this. But I'm just thinking for the people who are coming from a CTX 3030, you know, who want that super accurate target ID. I don't know if this is the one for you if you're looking for that.
On iRateMetalDetectors.com, I have this rated higher than the CTX 3030, which is perhaps about $2,000 more than this detector. There's no question that the CTX 3030 gives you a better inference before you dig, but in terms of depth, it matches if not exceeds, and in terms of ergonomics, this is superior. There's more factors than just that, but if I was gonna purchase, I would go towards this instead of the $2,400 CTX 3030. Just saying.
Here's another example. 11, 13, 16, 20. It's far down. It's giving me that consistent beat, and personally, I don't really care about target ID. And there it is. Ooh, I think we got silver. Look at that color. It's a dimmy. Basically, you're gonna have to live with, if it repeats, you dig. And that's what I do anyway. We got a wheel of something. I don't throw these out because I keep it wheel. Recovery speed 10 is helping a lot. 20 to 25. Junk. Okay, here's an item that I get with my Noks all the time. This is an old swimming corset clip. It's on the smaller side. It is maybe 3/4 the size of a coin. So it's a kind of small item. Let's keep going. Oh, the fishing gym is close. Dime. Well, here is the smallest item that I have pulled to date. It is still not the size of an earring back. Oh snap. Look at this. Let's clean this off. Maybe from a button. Okay. This is a blip. But it kind of reminds me of that ring signal. Another corset thing. Okay, here is the smallest item. This is maybe a old button. Smallest item that I have pulled. This was pretty close to the surface. Haven't had any screaming signals today until now. This is screaming at 46. No wonder. Look at that. Gold is in the area, I'm telling you. Item on the smaller side. I just found a chain. This was probably plated at some point. It says, oh, it doesn't say anything. I thought that was an S. That rang up as a 9. Interesting. We have another big item here. What the heck is this? I was going to say this is a bowl for Diwali, which is a Hindu holiday. Holiday's the wrong word. Day for alms, where you put coins in. But then again, this hole, it's a little counterproductive to that. What the heck is this? Alright, this was actually deep. I really had to listen for it, but it's like a little metal Cheerio. That was deep. I still haven't found something earring back sized, but I'm kind of satisfied with this. So, I mean, the earring backs, you can get some that are gold. That's the thing. I have found, you know, complete earring sets that are all gold. That's what you're kind of giving up. But that's small enough right there. That's kind of earring sized. I don't know if I would call that an equal to the Equinox. I don't think it is in that category. But it's an answer. Another interesting piece of beach metal. I don't know how this remains like that. It's not gold. And the rest of it is all oxidized. I don't understand. I'm excited about this one. Super solid 1516. Junk. This is a metal detecting first. It's a skillet, and I think I'm gonna keep it. Cooks food, man. I like food. I think this was dropped by the Decepticons, you know, Transformers. Okay, really cool old button, and it's small. Well, look at this. We got a belt buckle. This screamed at me. Cool. Fishing weight. Go, go, go. Fishing weight. We got a bullet. I'm actually experimenting with the stability at 5. Let's see what we get. Very clear 19. Junk. This is a harmonica reed. All bent up. I'm taking a chance by unbending it, but That just worked out. Cool. Debris. Junk. Here's an interesting piece right here. It's got some detail to it. Okay, so this is the smallest piece of the day, and I just found this at 5. You know, that setting was at 5. Oh, these fishing weights are taunting me. Fishing weight. Dime. Fishing weight. This is what's left of an old car. Look at that. Wow. We have another one of those change purse things. So cool. Okay, this is the smallest object that I found with this detector, and it was in that 5 setting in stability. So yeah, I mean, it was close to the surface, but still that would be the case with other detectors. Interesting piece. Interestingly, I think you lose depth when you go up to 5. Let's go back down to 3. Yeah, you could hear more, and you have more signals when it's on 3. Coolest fishing weight ever. Look at that. It's painted like a fish. I do believe we got number 2. This is a really thin one. We got number 2. Yeah, that's got a clear design on it. It's not going to be gold. There we go. There we go. See, my fat fingers reshaped it. Awesome. All right, let me organize all this for a wrap-up. I think I figured out what this is for. This might be for an oil lamp. Might be. I've seen similar ones. All right, so most important thing that we learned today was this. Yes, the Nokta Legend can definitely pull small objects. That was just a little bit bigger than an earring back. So I saw that, and that is possible. We got 2 rings, whole bunch of fishing weights, got this pan, got this bracelet, and it was a day. A whole lot of garbage too, but I went to this place on purpose because I knew that it would have small stuff.
So in closing today, I'm going to challenge you to get in the habit of doing some reading at iratemetaldetectors.com. It is a fluid situation, meaning that as I use this detector, the 2 new detectors, that is, you notice I have rank 1 Minelab Equinox. That's no surprise. But as of right now, I have that listed as a 69.8 out of 80. And this I've used even less. The Deus 2 I've used less than the Legend, 72 out of 80. As I feel right now, it's going to be better than the Equinox. And the Legend I have at 70.3, which is also higher than the Equinox. And basically for this one, you could see at relative value, $635 price point. You get headphones with it. You get a flashlight. You get really comparable detector. And the Equinox 800, for instance, is up to $1,000 now. Separation, it's a little bit less. Depth, I have it rated a little bit less. But that's not entirely proven yet. It's keeping up. Remember, 29 of 30 signals we've gotten. But you could see my entire write-up here. And this is going to be changing. I'm going to be changing it until I really feel confident with this, like a few times per month. So make sure that you check in. And I'm working on getting all the detectors that you've seen me swing on the channel, write-ups for all of them. There's eventually going to be resources, target ID guides, everything. So make sure that you subscribe to that and subscribe here. So thanks, everybody.